Hey everybody, Tekking here. Today we're going to talk about a theory in One Punch Man, a theory that always comes back to this one thing. Usually when you're talking about stuff in One Punch Man, it doesn't matter if you're even talking about other characters, it usually tends to cycle back to the one thing, and that is there ever going to be a character introduced in this series that can fight on equal footing with Saitama, that can match his strength, that can manage to fight against Saitama and not be defeated with one serious punch? It always comes back to this. You could call it the final goal of the series, it's like the One Piece in One Piece. The characters don't know if they're going to get to that point, but we as a reader understand that yes, eventually they're going to get to the One Piece, and once they do get to the One Piece, that's going to be at the end of the series. After they find the One Piece, the series has concluded. That's the point of One Piece. But when it comes to One Punch Man, which both contain the word one, and I did not plan that, it's not exactly the same deal. It's not understandably the same thing because it's a satire, it's a parody, so even though that might be Saitama's overarching goal to find someone that can match his strength, that might actually not be how the series ends. It could just end with Saitama fighting against, I don't know, like a really strong, like, dragon, or maybe like God. God descends from heaven and is like, I'm the god of the One Punch Man universe, and he's like, I can do this and this, and then he fights Saitama, and Saitama's just like, you're not the god I believe in, and just decks God. And it's like, oh, it turns out I was stronger than God this whole time. And then that's how the series ends, and it's still unresolved. He's still the strongest. I'm like, whatever. But it's fun to theorize. It's fun to discuss, is there ever going to be a character introduced, and what would that character be like? What would his personality be like? How would he fight? Would he be a character also very similar to Saitama in that he broke his limiter? And oh, by the way, it actually has been hinted before, in the webcomic anyway, that there is like a god figure in the One Punch Man universe, like a being that at least calls itself God and can grant powers to others. So it might be possible that such a being would be introduced at some point. I don't know where one's going to go with that. But the prevailing theory right now, and the one that's always the most fun to talk about, because there's just so much you don't know about the character, is Blast. Blast is the highest ranked hero in the Hero Association. He's S rank 1. He's a character completely, shrouded in mystery. Up until recently in the webcomic, we didn't even know if Blast was real. In fact, that was an awesome theory too I was going to discuss until he was revealed. It was Blast doesn't even exist. He's just like a figure that the Hero Association just made up to like strike terror in the hearts of monsters and villains. I'm like, and that makes a lot of sense when you think about it. It does. I mean, if you have this Hero Association and it's like you're trying to strike fear into the hearts of like all the wrongdoers in the world, then why wouldn't you create some sort of like superhero figurehead, Captain America kind of deal? Like, you want to piss us off? We have this guy in the wings, and he's shrouded in mystery. No one really knows a lot about him, but when he shows up on the battlefield, you can kiss whatever ground you're standing on goodbye. But as we found out in one of the most recent webcomic chapters, Blast was revealed to be a real character. We don't actually get to see him in the present storyline. We get to see him in a flashback 18 years ago, but he's clearly a real person. And it also sets to rest a couple of the other theories going around, like, oh, it turns out Blast is Saitama the whole time. Well, we know he's clearly not Saitama, because Saitama was 7 years old when Blast first made his appearance, when he was like an adult already, or like in his late teens, early 20s maybe. Also, he has a full head of hair. Although some people are not, because of the nature of the series, some people are not entirely going to rule out time travel, but I still kind of push that to the side, because just the way he's drawn and his personality from what we see, I think one was really trying to hammer in that one appearance we got, that no, he's not Saitama, he's a different character, he has a different philosophy, and yeah, he's not Saitama, he's a different character, because I know that was a prevailing theory. Another theory I hear popping up recently is that Blast is going to turn out to be Mob from Mob Psycho 100, which is another series that one draws and writes. And I've seen some comparisons to this, like, oh, Blast's hair is very similar to Mob's hair once he goes 99%, so maybe there's a connection there. I wouldn't put it against one to do that. If he was going to do, like, a crossover between two series, that would actually be kind of cool, in my opinion. I'm not really that into Mob Psycho at the moment. I haven't read really that much into it, but as I read more into it, I might, support this theory a little bit more. But from what I can see right now, they're not the same character. And I think what one was really trying to get across there with that one introduction scene of Blast in Tatsumaki's flashback is that he is another human that is very similar to Saitama, had a similar upbringing and access to power in that he broke a limiter. But it's just that his philosophies on, being a hero and everything are different from Saitama's. So he's like the opposite of him, but he has the same power. And I think that would make the most sense to me, simply because, hey, if you're going to have a series where you can break your limiter and you can have such an insane amount of power, why would you be the only human that would be capable of doing that? It might be possible that someone else could do that. It could be a really hard thing to do, and you might have to have a certain mindset going into it. It's not always just, anyone can do it. But I can totally see that being like how the series ends. The final battle, Saitama versus Blast, a serious fight. And no matter who loses, we all win. Because that would be fucking metal. Words cannot properly describe how metal that fight would be. Metal Bat cannot explain how metal that fight would be. It would be, like, universal, or at least planetary level shit we would be seeing here. I mean, it would be, like, reading it in the one style of artwork in the webcomic, it would be like, whoa, that's freaking intense! Eyes popping out of your fucking skull. Drawn in Murata style, it would be like your brain would blow out the side of your fucking skull. And then slap against the wall and then rebound and then bounce back in and be like, oh, this is amazing. And if Madhouse ever got around to animating it, which it's not even season 2, probably not, but whatever. Hopefully, fingers crossed. If it was ever animated in the Madhouse style, Blast versus Saitama, it might actually lead to the apocalypse. Everyone would just spontaneous combustion everywhere from watching it. The animators their wrists would explode as they're animating it. You can't do it. It's not possible. It would be like Saitama and Blast, like, jumping, like a fight to the limits, and they have no limits. They'd be, like, jumping off the goddamn planets and just, blowing them up with one punches just casually. And it's fine. It's fine if it doesn't make sense. It's parody. It's fun. It's entertaining as shit. Can you not imagine how fucking awesome that would be? Like them jumping off of planets and just casually wiping out star systems with their fists? I mean, why would you not sign up for that? Why would you try to ruin that with, like, it doesn't make sense because they don't have that kind of power level. It wouldn't be that kind of level shit. Screw that. It would be like universe being destroyed and then big bounced it back into existence. That's the kind of shit I can see one drawing. And you just know he wants to draw that kind of shit. You just know the whole reason he created One Punch Man, how much fun this guy has whenever he has he builds up these characters incredibly well, like, I am the Sea King, I am Lord Boros, dominator of the universe, I am Goro, I'm like a monster god, or whatever. And then how much fun he has when Saitama's just like, no you're not, BAM! I mean, yeah. So I really believe Blast is another character that broke his limiter. At some point, Saitama's going to meet him, and it's going to be, maybe not at the same time they meet, but they're going to fight. It's going to be at the end of the series, if that's the way that he's going to go with it. Blast himself, I mean, just the build-up to him, you can tell, it's better build-up than any other character we've had. It's like, he's this mysterious character. For a decent time there, we didn't even know if he was real or not. And then even the people that work in the Hero Association, some of them are just like, they question his very existence as well. They're like, all we know about him is his name. We don't even know if he's real. And one of the other employees, like Sitch, is like, oh, he's real. And when, the world really needs him, when it's like we're facing apocalyptic level shit, he will appear and he will save the day. It's just that we can't, we can't contact him. He'll show up when he feels like it, basically. But he is, without question, the strongest hero on the planet. And even the other S-rank heroes, even Tatsumaki, who's like an arrogant little bitch sometimes, scratch that all the time, understands that Blast is like in a league above her. That's the reason she became a hero to begin with. She doesn't come out right and say, Blast is way stronger than I am, but it's very heavily implied. Even she understands this. So, yeah. Another theory I've heard is that Blast is going to turn out to be Saitama's father. I don't know if that's the way it's going to go, if he wants to do the whole, like father-son sort of deal dynamic going on here. I have to say that one I don't find a lot of, it could be, but that seems kind of like, I don't know, I just don't see it going down that path. I really don't understand, I really don't see one doing the whole Star Wars, I am your father, and then, because I think in that situation, if it was revealed to be Saitama's father, that opens so many other questions up, and it's like, why would they fight why would they fight in that situation if they were father and son? I don't know, and Saitama, I just don't see, I can't picture that. I can't picture Saitama being like, oh, Dad, you left so many years ago, I didn't know. I just don't picture him doing that, so... Maybe, but I'm not, I would put my money into the time travel idea before I put it into that. Or it's like Saitama from like a parallel universe, maybe that's a thing. But I don't see it going down the whole Star Wars, I am your father shit. But what do you think about Blast? What do you think about his character, who he is? Is it going to turn out to have some relation to Saitama? Is it another character altogether that has no connection with Saitama, other than maybe he released his limiter, maybe he didn't break his limiter at all, maybe it's something else that we have never even seen before? Is he going to fight Saitama? Because the series is called One Punch Man. If you have a fight that takes place before the end of the series that Saitama cannot finish with one punch, the whole point of the series just collapses. Going back to the One Piece example, it's like if they found One Piece, but the series kept going for like another year or two afterwards. It's like, why are we even still here if you found the One Piece? So, yeah, One Punch Man, it's either going to end with Saitama still being the undeniable strongest in the universe, which is fine. I'm fine with that. Or it's going to end with him fighting against Blast or another equally strong character. Like I said, there's that God character we still don't know about yet. That might be the only other possible contender here. But yeah, I really like his character. I wanted to do a discussion video about this for a while. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope to see and read your theories below. That's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, and also check out my artist, Mr. Awesome, Bud McAwesome, his DeviantArt page below. He did the artwork for Blast in the thumbnail for this video, which I enjoyed very much. I'm glad that he managed to encapsulate, I think, the one style of artwork, or Murata's style of artwork. I think it worked out pretty good there for the design of Blast. I enjoyed it. All right, thank you guys for watching. This will be Tekking signing out.